everybody, it's Anya, the adult doll and toy collector. Welcome back to the small plastic world. You might remember this doll from a previous video when we fixed her up and gave her a little makeover, including a brand new sweater that I made out of a sock. The instructions I followed were from the YouTube channel called 1.6 Scale. I'm going to put a link to the video in the description box. You can make sock sweaters too, and trust me, if I can do it, truly anybody can do it. So in this video, I wanted to show you some of the sock sweaters that I've been making for Halloween for the dolls. The first Halloween sock is this sock that I got at Big Lots. It was 99 cents for this pair of socks. So I followed the directions from 1.6 Scale's video and made this sweater, which is modeled by the rhythmic gymnast Barbie from a previous video, who I have put on a made to move body. It has a turtleneck and little cuffs on the sleeves. One thing I did differently than the instructions was this bottom cuff on the sweater. The directions tell you to use the second sock and to cut this part off and use it as the bottom. I did that here on this sweater, but I decided not to do that here because I wanted to keep the sock in one piece in case I wanted to make a whole nother sweater again. I could make two sweaters out of one pair of socks. Otherwise you can't. So I just took a little extra piece of the sock that I cut up that I otherwise would not be using on anything. I followed the directions the same way to make a little cuff on the bottom just to finish it. And just to complete the look for this doll, I just put her in a pair of Sparkle Girls jeans and then these little beige Barbie booties. The next sock I decided to use was this sock from Dollar Tree. So it was $1.25 for a pair of these socks. I think they're actually men's socks, so they have this much bigger top part here and they're a little bit longer. You have to put them this way to kind of see. It's the face of the Frankenstein monster. Extremely cute socks. I actually regret not getting a pair for myself to wear. It was a little bit of a challenge for this one because the part with his face is much longer than what the instructions have you use. I wanted to keep all of the face, so I cut it a lot longer and I basically made a sock dress so that I could preserve the whole face. I did cut it too long. I was trying to preserve these bolts, so I wish I had cut the sock right about here and then the dress would have been shorter, more like this length. But I'm still very pleased with how this came out. I think it's really cute. This is, of course, Camp Teresa. Yes, she's in a lot of videos. I mean, what can I say? She has a really, really good agent. I mean, they came at me with this contract and I had no choice but to put her in pretty much every video. She's my girl. Anyway, it also has a little turtleneck collar. I did shorten the top of the sock quite a bit, obviously. I just cut it down to be more of the size of a sock like this so I could follow the instructions, and it worked perfectly. In fact, I used the rest of the top of the sock for this long bottom piece, and I was okay with it much thicker because this is a dress. I did wash and dry the socks before I used them, just thinking maybe that it would help not get dye to discolor the dolls, etc., and just to clean them up. I mean, they're brand new socks, but I still feel better washing them. But the socks get this ridge in them all the time, so I had to fold the sock the other way and then follow the instructions that way, but that wasn't that big of a deal. It was pretty easy to follow. And one other thing I did that was a little different than the instructions was I made the little cuffs just again out of a little piece of the green part of the sock that I didn't use anywhere else, so that they would just be green instead of being black. But otherwise you could use part of it in here for the cuffs also. So if I make another one with the other sock, I will make it shorter. I will probably make this thinner and I might have black cuffs just to be a little different. But I was pleased with how this came out. Next is another Dollar Tree sock, this adorable monster sock. I also regret not getting a pair of these for myself just to wear, but I thought these were so cute. This sock here does not have a top that's sort of ribbed and has a different texture like this sock. So I decided with this monster sock, I would skip those steps in the instructions and just make a crew neck sweater. And here is how that turned out. So you still got the monster face. There isn't a turtleneck on it. It's just got this sort of a crew neck. This is a 1978 large size Princess Leia action figure. She came to me out of the package. Her hair was taken out of the bun hairdo and she's been washed up. They make very nice dolls. I'm going to do a whole video on them later, but I have several of these. Quite a few. This particular doll did come wearing this little necklace. I think it's actually a child's bracelet, and I'm not sure, it looks like a letter M, so I'm guessing it came with a doll. So if you know what this is, please comment down below and let me know. For this sweater, I had to do things a little differently. I didn't finish the cuffs, and I kind of regret it. It looks a little sloppy. I guess I could fold them up and do something. I might go back and do it, but on the other hand, I don't really mind the way it is now. I did place some extra sock on the bottom and follow those instructions just so it has a slightly more finished appearance. But I thought this one came out very cute and I'm cool with it being a crew neck. Dollar Tree really outdid themselves with Halloween socks this year. So this was another sock that seemed to want to be a crew neck sweater here. So I came up with this. And I wanted to show you that the sweaters will work on Ken dolls as well. This, of course, is Fashionista number 193 from a previous video. In this sweater, just to be different, I made the sleeves much thicker than normal. I didn't do the step where you slightly cut the sleeve so that it's smaller and more fitted. That actually worked out. They're just a little bigger. On this sweater, I actually used some parts of a different sock to create the cuffs and to create this hem at the bottom. And of course, it's a crew neck, so there's no turtleneck, and I didn't do anything to finish this. I don't know, it might not look the best, but I think it's okay for my purposes and I like it the way it came out. Next, we have this really cute ghost. I got this at Five Below for 99 cents for the pair of socks. There's the ghost and the checkers are on one side, but the other side is just the checkers. And here is how the sweater turned out. I followed the instructions pretty much to the letter on this, and here's the back. Modeling this cute sweater is Fashionista number 56, Style So Sweet. She is on a petite body. The sleeves may be a tiny bit long on her, but that could also be the way I sewed it because I'm not great at sewing. She's a really pretty doll. I actually got her on Amazon. I added her to the cart so I could get free shipping. So I wasn't able to choose her for myself, and her eyes are a little wonky. It's okay. She's a gorgeous doll anyway. Her hair came in this ponytail with this gorgeous crimp in it. I absolutely love crimped hair. I added this bow, thought it would look cute in her hair. She has painted brown eyes and this beautiful red lip. She has the standard 5 points of fashionista articulation. The fingers being separated like this and like this make dressing the dolls in the sweaters a little bit harder. You have to kind of guide the hands through the sleeves. The fingers will sort of poke through the sleeves. Just something to keep in mind. She was already wearing these Barbie tights, and she's got this skirt, which I believe is the original skirt from LA Girl, and these boots, which are in a fashion pack, and I embellished the details with a little silver paint. Last but not least, we have another Big Lots sock. I knew I was going to either have to cut off part of the skeleton to follow the instructions exactly, or I was going to have to cut it longer and make another sweater dress. Here is the result. This sweater dress is modeled by Fashionista number 11, Red Ruffles. This doll is super pretty. She's got painted light brown eyes and this beautiful bright red lip. She has brown hair with some highlights in it. These pieces are cut to frame her face. She has been rebodied onto an earlier Fashionista body that has more points of articulation. For this sweater dress, I cut it off right at the skeleton's feet so it could be shorter, and I decided to make the colors contrasting all around. I followed the directions exactly for the turtleneck collar, and then I used other parts of the sock to make the cuffs on the sleeves and then this hem. One thing I messed up is that I cut this piece of sock because I thought it would be easier, attach it as this lower hem, but then when I put it back together when I was sewing, now it sticks out and it doesn't look as good. On the one hand, that makes it the back of the sweater, so it's okay, but on the other, I wish I hadn't cut it and had just pinned it down, and then both sides would look like this. With the other sock, I might make another sweater dress, but I might keep everything sort of down the middle so that this entire side of the sweater will be orange, and then everything on this side will be black. But all in all, I'm very pleased with how this came out. So what about you? Have you ever made sweaters for your dolls out of socks? Or have you ever made sweaters? Do you knit? I don't know that I could knit a doll sweater. I think it would be hard. I hope you're inspired to try this. The instructions are very clear and well done on the video. Thank you so much for joining us here today while we looked at some of the sock sweaters I've been making for my dolls to get everybody here ready for Halloween. Are you ready for Halloween? I feel like I'm getting there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already done so. And if you have, thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.